Do you think you're bipolar, or do you have bipolar disorder? Well, believe it or not, I just asked you two completely different questions, and the answer you give can affect everything. Confused a little? Well, listen to a couple really quick stories, and then you decide what you are. So a young boy was at the grocery store with his mom, waiting to check out. On accident, he dropped a 2-liter bottle of soda, and it exploded everywhere. It was a big mess. The mother shouted, "You're so stupid, you stupid child." On the other side of the store, there was a mother shopping, and her daughter accidentally dropped a jar of spaghetti sauce, and this also made a mess. The mother of the little girl said, "That was a stupid thing you just did." The first child who dropped the soda has been classified as stupid for life. The little girl, on the other hand, only had one mistake pointed out. The first child will most likely grow up feeling, believing, or even becoming stupid. The other child will learn to stop doing stupid things, so to speak. A father and son were working on a cement brick walkway around their house. They had exactly 1,000 bricks to lay. They worked so hard to make sure every brick was level and every bit of cement was smooth. The next day, they were standing back, admiring the fruits of their labor. And the son said, "We did it. It's perfect, Dad." To which the father replied, "Yeah, it looks really nice, except for those couple of crooked bricks down towards the end. Other than that, it looks great." From that moment on, every time the son would walk by the path, all he could see was the 2 crooked bricks. He would even avoid walking on the path if he could, because he didn't want to see the fault that was pointed out to him. What he didn't realize was that although there were 2 imperfect bricks, there were still 998 bricks that were absolutely perfect. Let's use one last quick example. In prison, some well-trained rehabilitation volunteers will tell inmates to never think of themselves as criminal felons, but someone who has committed a criminal act. If they're told that they're criminals, if they're treated like criminals, and if they believe that they're criminals, then they're going to become criminals. It's no wonder so many people get out and go right back to a life of crime. After all, being a criminal has become an identity because everyone, including themselves, believes that that's all they are. Good volunteers will ask a criminal, what else did they do on the day they committed their crime? What other things did they do that year or throughout the other years of their life? Now, in reference to the other 2 stories, there are other bricks in the walkway of life that represent so much more than a spilt soda, a crooked brick, a crime committed. In fact, there are always more perfect bricks than the bad ones. It's up to each of us to figure out what's stopping us from seeing them. Now that I told these stories, let's approach the question I asked at the beginning of the video again. Do you think you are bipolar, or is bipolar just something you have? Has the illness become your identity, who you are as a person? Or can you remember that it's just a couple of crooked bricks alongside the other 998 beautiful ones that make up who you are? This is an important point for our partners, friends, and family to understand also. If they keep telling us we're criminals, how long until we commit a crime? So many of us lose ourselves in the illness. A doctor says, "You are bipolar," and that's all, folks. We might as well change our name to bipolar, change our hair to the color bipolar, and chalk every bad thing that happens in our lives up to being bipolar. Sure, putting the context of our suffering into a word where people can relate and share information isn't a bad thing. That's how people get help. The word bipolar isn't a bad thing, it's just a word. How many of you had a horrible time accepting the initial diagnosis? Is it because you were trying to force it on yourself as a new identity to where it cast a shadow over the other amazing things you've done in your life? When I first started making videos and someone said, "You can't say I'm bipolar, you have to say I have bipolar," I thought, who frickin' cares? It's the same thing. I just didn't pay as much attention to the subtleties of language, and the way we talk to ourselves can really shape or define who we believe we are. After watching this video, hopefully some of you will come to the same realization. Thank you all for joining me here for another Polar Warrior video, and as always, I'd love to hear or read what you guys say in the comments below, so make sure to leave one if you have something to say. If you do have any specific questions though, I do have a hard time responding to all the comments I get, so click the link at the top of all my video descriptions and head over to my community on Patreon. That's where you can contact me directly, and I always respond to everyone on Patreon. I wish all of you a peaceful week, and stop by again soon. Stay well.